Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And today we are reviewing season 4, episode 6 of Ready to Love. And that episode is titled Opposites Attract. If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell, and share with somebody. Friend, cousin, auntie, somebody you know watches this show. You ready to do this?
Let's do it.
All right. So, starting at the elimination. I thought 2 guys were going to go home this week.
But no, only one.
The plot thickens.
Who got sent home? Oh, yeah. Dietrich. I knew he was going to get sent home, though. Yeah.
Much like it seemed that Dietrich was keeping Tressa, it seems like Tressa was keeping Dietrich.
It did.
Because once she went home, he went home.
Yeah, nobody else wanted Dietrich. But we talked about like the connections that he was making with people wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody he sat down to make a connection with has been eliminated. Because at first it was Ida.
Vicky. Vicky. You know, she said, my name Ida, but everybody called me Vicky. And I was like, why?
Why did they call her Vicky? Anyway.
She didn't explain.
Anyway, so her, and then Tressa was the other one. That's all you seen him sit down.
Because he went on multiple dates with Tressa.
Yeah.
He did
go. He just went on. No, he did go on multiple dates. They went dancing one time and then they went to the spice place.
We saw him go out with Stacy on a group date. That didn't go well. Granted, Stacy's not there. Remember, she walked away. No, she didn't go with him. She walked over to him.
Yeah, because he was the chef.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they weren't on the date together per se, but they ended up together. But yeah, we kind of saw Papa going home.
Yeah, man. It wasn't a surprise. What was a surprise, though, and I don't know if we was going to talk about this now or later, but AJ being at the bottom. That was a surprise to me because I felt like he's made enough connections, and it was at that point before this episode was in enough people's range of tops because I think Kyra.
You want to change that girl name so bad.
Every time, man. I say it right, then I say it wrong. I'm sorry. But Kyra, she's like absolutely okay. He's at my top. Mm-hmm. But then I thought Alexis had him at her top. Maybe that's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he had went on a date with Liz and was talking to her, and they kind of figured out that
Liz was like, that ain't gonna work because what did she say? Our beliefs are different.
Yeah.
It was a nice way to say,
But yeah, so AJ was at the bottom and he turned out to be safe.
I did not feel that a lot of people had made connections with AJ. I think that AJ, like, not Kyra, Alexis feels like there's a connection with AJ, but AJ doesn't feel the same about her.
But she turned.
She did.
At the ladies' lounge. She was like, well, I'm going to put him in my bottom now since all of y'all did. And I was like, but if you like him, like.
She likes Ron more. She don't want her boy to be sent home at all. So it's just like.
I
mean, granted, nobody had Ron in their bottom, but it's just like, if I have to choose with one or two, he can go.
Yeah.
What Kevin Hart's joke say? Somebody had to go.
It was you. Somebody had to go.
It was you. Boom. Got kicked off. All right. So we'll go back to the beginning of the episode now.
All right.
So we started out in the ladies' lounge, and nephew Tommy said the connections are stronger and the hugs are longer. The ladies were instructed to not go on a date with a guy that is their number one. And I felt like some of the people did the exact opposite of that.
Who?
I really like him. I'm gonna go out with him. Kyra and AJ, like, I guess this was their first date back.
They hadn't dated. That was their first date, single date.
Mm-hmm. And who else was it? Alexis with Ronald. Because remember, they went out. And Ronald is at her top. They went mini golfing.
Oh, no. They never went out with each other. They only
been
texting. And talking with each other.
So I'll take all of that back then.
Yeah.
So speaking of Alexis and Ronald, they're the first guys to go out on a date. They went out with Ronald, and I did say surprisingly they hadn't been on a date yet.
Yeah.
They went to go play mini golf, and they discussed her faith because she was like, I am a church girl at heart. Mm-hmm. And he said that he had been out here living life like a rock star. Nothing about Ronald says rock star. I've been living my life like a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought
living La Vida Loca.
I would have thought that he would have been more of a I go to church on Sundays kind of guy. Especially like because he describes himself as like a traditionalist and all this stuff. Like I thought that would have been him.
Yeah. No, I get that. I didn't see him as I seen him as I go to church on Sundays, but
yeah, like I'm not saying he a deacon or anything, but like he show up.
I go to church on Sundays, but I still curse.
I love Jesus, but I cuss a little bit.
Yeah.
So she asked him, and I don't remember what his answer was, what put him ahead of... Oh, no, she asked him what put her ahead of the other ladies that he had been entertaining. And apparently she liked the answer that she got.
Yeah.
I don't remember the answer, though.
Yeah.
Next,
I didn't even see that part, but go ahead.
Next up, or did you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Mm-mm. Next up, Amber goes out on a date with AJ. Looked like they just went to the park and had a drink, like a smoothie or something.
And talked.
He asked her, I believe. I think it was him asking her why they hadn't gone on a date. Yeah. He asked her why they hadn't gone on a date. And she was like, it's because of you. Like, you don't seem approachable. And I wouldn't have used the word approachable, which obviously I'm not Amber, so I get her word choice. But she did describe him perfectly in seeming that he wants women to come and chase him. Yeah. And all he has to do is
smile,
look good. That's all I need to do. And women should be flocking after me. And she was basically like, I'm not going to do that. And he asked her, was she going to put forth more effort? And she was like, are you gonna put forth more effort? And I was like, yeah, he looking for somebody that want him because he fine.
But I don't understand where that comes from. Like some people I know, they're just not approachable, because of their demeanor and stuff like that. But
you said that about me.
Have I? Mm-hmm. I don't even remember that.
You used to say that I look mean. That's what I'm talking about.
Back in the day, you look mean.
That's what I'm talking about. Like
you are said, mean, but
whatever.
I mean, whatever. It is what it is now. But I bet you me and Lily gonna be like, man, yeah, your mama mean. Anyway,
you done?
Yeah, I'm finished. But no, it's just like personally, I just didn't see it. Anybody on that show not being approachable. I can see some people not being interested in other people. And to me, that's different.
But I think it's the way that we place people mentally. Uh-huh. And I say that because I could see people putting Kyra in that type of box. And we've seen her be nothing but like genuinely kind, because even like, with the exception of walking away from Christian, but even the situation with Christian, she was like, hey, let me pull you to the side and give you some game. Yeah. So like for that.
But that's a different approach to things. He wasn't trying to holler at her mm-hmm. and she wasn't, No. She wasn't looking at him in that light.
No, I'm just saying like from the, like, you can talk to me standpoint. Yeah. Like, not like you trying to holler at me, which of course that's the whole premise of this show.
Right. Let me holler.
It's not that you can't approach me to have a conversation.
Nah, I got you.
But yeah, I don't know. I've always had weird feelings about AJ since the beginning, and most of the people that I've watched that review this show are like, AJ's fine. I'm like, yeah, all right.
He ain't me or nothing, right?
You and AJ got the same type eyes.
No, we don't.
Y'all do. Y'all got them big old eyes.
No, we don't, man.
That's all I had for them. You got anything else?
No.
All right. So Chris and Chris go on a date.
I thought that was cool. It's like Chris and Chris with a K.
Chris with a C and Chris with a K. They went to a seafood lounge, and while they were talking, they got to open up with each other about dad. So apparently, which we knew because Chris sent them. I don't want to say she talks about it a lot, but she's talked about it enough that it's come up multiple times.
Her mama wanted an Italian baby.
Her mama wanted an Italian baby, and
so is her mama black?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think she said her mother was in the military.
I don't know.
I think.
Don't get me the line.
Was stationed in Italy and had her dad. And she said she lived there until she was like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
She said until she was 7. But apparently, even though they were there for 7 years, she just met her dad like in this part of her life.
Yeah.
Which I find interesting because like that's just strange.
It is strange.
Live in the country that your estranged parent lives in, and yet there's been no connection whatsoever. But she was like, he's cool, you know, her dad is her guy, and you know, they've forged a relationship, which is great. And Chris said that his dad denied him for years and had recently passed away, and that's when he found out about the rest of his family, which he did share quite a bit of that with Amber on their date. So we've gotten to learn bits about Chris KG on his dates that we didn't get to learn last season.
Right, definitely.
So, excuse me. While they were sitting down and talking, she did tell him that she's not a relationship girl, and I was like,
why are you on this show?
This is strange. I'm ready for love, but I also don't want to be in a relationship. Like, I feel like she shot herself in the foot with that one.
Yeah. I feel like honestly that for me personally, those two, like they was just talking to each other. They weren't interested in each other, and they can't go anywhere because like they don't like each other like that. Like she's pretty, but that's for Chris. That's all she has, you know, to go forward with, and he's a handsome guy, and that's for
with his pastel coats.
Man, the boy can dress. The boy can dress, man. But for Chrysanthemum, it's the same thing. It's just that's it, you know. But
I feel like for her, it's just cool to know somebody to work at the radio station.
Right. That's how I feel like. It's like a connection of networking for her with him. But on her, it's crazy because it's like you really don't have a connection with anybody on the show except for Ron. Ron is your saving grace. Because everybody else is like...
Yeah, because we didn't really get to see... Like some of the people we've seen them go out on multiple dates. Yeah. Like I guess they have the scheduling availability to do this. But we've seen Chrysanthemum go on a date with Troy. But that wasn't even aired on TV.
But the thing about it is nobody is talking about Chrysanthemum at the lounge.
Exactly. Like nobody's like butterflies.
Right.
When
like
when they think about her. Kind of like Joelle and Vernicia. Like
right.
He smiles when he talk about her.
Right. Exactly. I smile when I talk about Vernicia.
So I don't see anything going anywhere with the two of them.
Nah, I don't either.
So Amber then went on a date with Joelle, and he asked if he could kiss her on the jaw. When they talked about that in that ladies' lounge, Vernicia cut her eyes.
She was like, what?
She was like, I don't like
that. At
all. They did sit down and talk about his wife.
Yeah.
I think he said her name is Courtney, and I don't know how many years it had been since Courtney passed away, but they kind of discussed like him being ready to date again and him being ready to be married, and also what comes along with marrying him, because he's like, I have 2 motherless children at this point in my life. Because I have 2 motherless children, you have to be willing to step in and be a mom figure.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a little bit more difficult for a single woman. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's levels to like jumping into this. So you have the level of, I'm dating a guy and he has a kid, but that kid goes to live with her mom.
Yeah.
And then you have the next level of these kids are always here.
These kids.
So it's just like, and it's not a negative thing,
right,
but it's just, it's something to, it's hard to jump into it, because even becoming a parent, you go from it's just you and I to it's me, you, and this baby, and this baby doesn't go anywhere without one of us. At all. So I think when you look into something like that with a man that has kids and he is a single parent to his kids, or a sole parent, I can't even just say single parent, a sole parent, because even single moms get breaks. I'm sure his wife's family does still have involvement with the kids, but it's just the matter of you don't have a lot of time. Right. So he was like, he makes time for what he wants when it comes to dating, but a woman has to be willing to be there for the kids. So I think that's a huge task, and that's something that you have to definitely think about. He did tell her that he admired her, and she told him that he earned a kiss on the cheek from her. So there was a kiss on the cheek. Sidebar about this kiss on the cheek. I don't think she said in the ladies' lounge that it was on the cheek.
She just said it was a kiss.
It was a kiss.
Yeah.
And I think that's what set Vernicia's eye roll off.
Vernicia wasn't having that, man. But I did like, again, man, I think Joel, that's how you say his name?
All of the people there say Joelle. I've never heard him say his own name, I don't think.
Yeah, he had to say it at the beginning. Anyway, I think he's a very genuine guy. And I think that he's taken every opportunity that's presented in this show, in this I don't want to call it a contest, but in this process, he's taking every opportunity as each date as being the potential one. And I like it. You know what I'm saying? Even though Vernicia is his number one, him going on this date with Amber, he's taking the opportunity to, you know, even when they went on the date, when they went to paint or something like that, he even he took the date with, I think it was Liz, maybe, that was there.
I don't remember.
I think it was Liz.
I know what you're talking about. It was somebody else though that he leaned over and said something to them and started working with them with what they were doing too. Right.
He genuinely, okay, well, I'm here with you right now, and paid that attention to her, even though he was still checking on Vernicia. You know, and that's a genuine thing, and he's taking the opportunity to really get to date these women. I think that's the best way to do in this process. So I'm rooting for Joelle.
Yeah. Team Joelle, unless he does something stupid.
Which he probably will, man. We tend to do stuff like that, but hey, it is what it is, man.
All right. So next up, Liz and Jason go on a date. Now, I've said this to Tommy, and I don't think I said it here, but Liz and Jason are 4 years apart, and they feel so much more than 4 years.
They feel like it's 15.
Yeah, he seems like a little boy next to her 40, even though he's 36.
Look, he's older than us.
Yeah, he's older than us, but he seems like a little boy next to her 40. I don't know. It's something about the way Liz carries herself that feels different. They were in high school at the same time. Right.
No, what I think, and this is what I was getting from their date on this episode was Jason is looking at it as, I can't believe I've made it this far with her. And Liz is looking at it as, okay, let's see. Like, I like what you're saying. I like what you're doing. I like you. You know, so I'm gonna continue on. And it's like, I feel like that's why we feel like he's such a child. Not, I don't want to say child because he's a grown man, but he
has a certain playfulness and youthfulness to him. And that's not to say that Liz is a stick in the mud, because I don't think that she is.
No.
But he has a certain playfulness and youthfulness to him that doesn't feel 36 or not even 36, because he feels 36 looking at him.
Right.
Liz just does not feel like she's just 4 years older.
Right. That's
what it is.
That's the thing. And it's like, man, you can see it in their interactions. Like, it was kind of relaxed more this time because he was like, shoot, I'm going to try it. So he leaned in and kissed her and she didn't pull away.
He kissed her twice.
He kissed her twice. And I saw I saw the second one. I was like, you go, boy.
So, they, on their date, they did the Ferris wheel. Like, they had a picnic or a lunch and then got on the Ferris wheel. And I said they kiss and they kiss again.
Yeah. Nah, but I definitely feel like he's looking at it as it's a great opportunity. I like her, but completely shocked that they're vibing the way that they are.
Right. No,
he's realizing the vibe, but he's shocked that it's like that. But he's loving it. Yeah.
So next up was Kyra and AJ. They go to a private room at a restaurant. And then they play a game of Never Have I Ever, but both of them had done everything on the Never Had I Ever. They talked about cheating on someone, being in love. And I said they both cheated and they both been in love.
Oh, he cheated too?
Kyra said that hers was a high school cheating. She hasn't cheated as an adult. And he was like, I mean, it happened. She says that she feels like her communication with him is still stifled. This was in her confessional. And he also let her know that his last relationship ended because of a lack of communication. So it's seeming that he just doesn't know how to communicate his feelings. And he said some of it was because of the way that he was raised.
Yeah. He had to do a lot of stuff on his own and figure a lot of things out. And we can kind of look at him and tell that communication is a problem with him, because you go back to what Kyra was saying about their first date. You know, he is a simple conversation of I got the wrong car. You know, they probably wouldn't have been on this show, maybe.
Right. Because I think that had he communicated, I grabbed the wrong card, let me cash app you the money back that you spent. My bad. Really sorry. Threw an extra $20, $30 in there for the inconvenience. I think that she would have looked at him differently, and they may or may not have gone on another date.
Yeah.
But this time around, she wouldn't have come to him with the hesitant energy that she did this time around. But they're kind of like, who had the history? Adriana and Rashid. I think that
just like that.
I don't think that the history is doing anything for them.
Yeah.
But in the case of Adriana and Rashid, I think that it was like Rashid put everything on the table, and I think Kyra's putting everything on the table, but Adriana and AJ are I'm holding back.
I think what AJ's problem is he's trying to redeem himself with Kyra. But
you like, what's her name?
What's her name? But he's trying to redeem himself with her. But it's like, man, just focus on moving forward. And I think they did a really good job of, hey, let's moving forward. Let's, try to move this relationship along, and see what happens, because she's still calling him a wild card.
Right.
Even though he's top of her list, that's what
he's second on her list.
Is he?
Because Jason is still at the top.
Kyra? Oh, okay. Look at Jason being in the game.
I didn't expect him to be in the game this.
I know I didn't. But one thing about AJ that concerns me to all the other, that was the biggest surprise that he was at the bottom, was because AJ is a music producer. And he has this persona, like you was talking about earlier, that he's the catch, he's the guy. You need to be trying to holler at him. But I don't even think it's that for him. And I think he's a terrible communicator, as I said earlier. But I do think he's a very humble person when it comes to a lot of things. And he's confusing at one point because he was talking like Liz was like no sex, and then Alexis was like sex on their first
and she
date.
wasn't even like, let's have sex. She was just like, sexually frustrated here.
Right.
And he was like, I don't like that. And then Liz is like, we not having sex at all. I don't like that either.
No, he need a happy medium somewhere. So I don't know, man. I think I
couldn't see Alexis and AJ together anyways, but
I couldn't either. But I think Kyra and AJ probably, I can see them going somewhere off of this.
So next date or last date, Vernicia and Dietrich. So she picked out the restaurant, of course, because the women were dating this time. Like it was their ask.
Yeah.
And they discussed how her days go. And we know that she's a hairstylist.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, my days are really about my kids, going to this activity, that activity, working in between all these activities. But she's like, I make myself available for my children. And he was like, you're really busy. Do you have time to date? She was like, you make time for what you want to make time for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you made time for this TV show. So you got to be making time to date in some kind of way.
Right.
So they did talk about her expectations in a relationship. And she was like, I'm looking for a man to lead. And he kept telling her that she makes him nervous. And I think that that's literally what killed it for him.
I felt like that date was doomed from the beginning because of how timid he was acting towards her and stuff like that. Like she's a beautiful woman and she don't play games, which is understandable. As older you get, the less games you're playing with this thing called love. So,
with anything, not just love.
right. Yeah, you're right. But truly, she doesn't like her time wasted. But he took himself out the game by telling her, oh, you make me nervous. He was like, I don't even want to have another, finish this meal or something.
He was like, I can't even finish eating. And I was like,
bro, you finna go home.
Nothing.
It's nothing gonna save you now, And that was for me, that was his last, Dietrich's last hoorah at this whole Ready to Love. So, yeah, I knew that day wasn't going nowhere.
Right. So when the ladies got back up in the lounge, Alexis said Ron was at her top. Amber gushed over Joelle. Kyra said AJ went from the worst date ever to the best date ever. And Liz and Jason had a beautiful date. They shared basically what happened on all of the dates, all the kissing, hugging, squeezing, touching.
Yeah.
And then we found out that the guys that were in the bottom were Dietrich, Chris, and AJ. Tommy and I were both nervous for Chris.
Right. Right.
Nervous for Chris. And then it ended up being AJ and Dietrich that were at the bottom. Of course, they threw the curveball. They didn't send both of them home like they did last week with the ladies. They sent just one guy home. So I wonder if next week is going to be one guy, one lady.
Possible.
Or if it's just going to be one guy.
It's possible it could be one guy, one lady.
And we just throwing all
because at some point they got to balance back out.
Right. And I can't remember how many people are left, but I think we end with 3 couples, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I read that this was a longer season, like it's 13 episodes. I don't know. Like, we're at episode 6, y'all. It don't seem like it's enough people left.
Right. It might be some episodes that nobody gets eliminated.
Could be. Yeah. Could be.
Just everybody get another chance.
If you had to pick who you thought was going to be the last 6 people standing.
Yeah. Vernicia and Joelle.
Okay, that's one of mine.
Yeah.
Or 2 of mine, since I said 6 people, not 3 couples.
Right. everybody else is a toss up, man.
I think Amber.
I want to say Amber and Chris.
Yeah, I think Amber and Chris are gonna make it to the end, and then I think that Kyra and Jason will make it to the end.
I was gonna say Kyra and somebody.
Yeah,
because two people. I know Liz is gonna make it.
You think so? I didn't have Liz in my.
Liz and Troy, or not Troy, but David. Because like I look at it like this: if how many people are vouching for you, like how many people are actually thinking about you?
And see, I think that David could get sent home at any time because the only person that I think that is vouching for him is Liz.
Yeah,
and I think that David and Jason are the only two that seem to have a real true connection with Liz. So
I'm just saying, I think Liz is safe.
I'm gonna go and write this out on paper. And
you should. You should
make me a diagram.
See how right I am. I think Liz is safe.
See how right you are.
Yeah, Liz is safe.
As Lily says, "Wow, oh wow."
Right. Vernicia might not be safe because the only person that's after her is Joelle, and we just have to see how that relationship goes because she has to talk to Joelle after this kiss. So I don't know, man. It's interesting now. This part gets fun for me because
we get to speculate every week.
Right. You're like, all right, so they sent this person home, so who's gonna match up? So anyway, I'm done.
You got anything else?
No, man. No, I don't.
All right. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. Turn on the notification bell. Comment down below what you guys thought of this week's episode. Let us know. This is, I guess, technically the mid-season predictions.
Right.
Let us know your mid-season predictions. And also, we saw that Put a Ring on It is coming back next month. Are you guys watching? Did you guys watch last season? I actually enjoyed last season, and I'm hoping that this next season is also enjoyable.
Yeah.
But we gotta have some characters, even though they're already in relationships. Like Hollywood's foolishness made it funny.
Man, it did. I enjoyed it.
So yeah, let us know what you guys think, and if you're watching that show. I said like, share, comment, subscribe. Yep, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Peace.